Vernia. I couldn't make it then, and I was never going to be a volunteer because of my situation. But I moved out here, and I'll be the first one to say I moved out here so I wouldn't have to be a volunteer. And if I wanted to be a volunteer, I would have passed the test down at San Antonio. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, I'm asking, I don't remember hearing somebody say at the 2 pancake breakfasts these past 2 years, this one and last year, that we were in this kind of predicament. I didn't hear nothing, no letters were sent out or nothing. I'm sorry.
The answer to that question, sir, this contract has been delivered to us approximately a week to 10 days ago.
Okay,
And since that time, we have been seriously in effort of contacting the county officials, getting signs made, and getting a time set to call this meeting, to call it to everybody's attention. We got no notice.
Okay.
And if we don't get a notice of bad news, I'm not going to call a group meeting to scare somebody. Like I said in the beginning, I am here to state the truth. This is the truth. I was not aware of the truth until about 10 days ago, give or take.
Also, too, ask them, does anybody in here want a copy of that contract? To see what it contains. You need to read it.
If anybody wants one to sign up before you leave, yes, sir.
My name is Donald Fine. I was involved with Lavernia for 14 years. I was treasurer for 12 years. So I know how it was with the volunteers. Now that was before you got all these new rules with the having to train and everything else. And it takes, even then, you know, we had to strive to get volunteers for everything. And guys, you know, you're working, you made it when you could. So it's a deal, it's a young guy's game. I got bad neck, I can't do it anymore, that's why I quit. But I was with the city for 34 years, and when I came out here, I felt that I could help the community, that's what I did. So you got the young guys here, you know, it's your places. Now, the deal about when y'all have the Eagle Creek, Lavernia, they even though they're an ESD, they have a mutual aid contract with the county. When a structure fire comes in, they contact, if there's a fire out here, besides contacting you, they're contacting Lavernia and they're contacting Eagle Creek. So you're gonna have response. But it is good to get the guys to volunteer out here because this is what started. When I came out here in 1984, it was me and a bunch of older guys that made everything with a little old brush truck. That's all we had out here. The city of Lavernia had 2 old trucks. Now since they got the ESD, man, they went crazy building this new station and everything else. I asked the ESD board, don't you know have a rainy day fund? You got to spend everything you get. And their answer was the insurance board says you got to have this. Why they built that big fancy place, that makes no sense to me. But the guys, it's up to y'all, the young guys, to take care of things. You know, even though, and the volunteers do the best job they can. Some houses you can stop. Trailer houses, almost forget it. Fire gets in a trailer, you're almost lost. Get out of it. But it's something that really got to support and help out the people.
Thank you, sir.
My question is, I've heard people talking that in the event that we can't get enough volunteers and we get the mutual aid from the ESDs, because they're the mutual aid agreement supposedly in the contract that I haven't seen. But I also heard that if an ESD comes in over here and they fight my fire, your fire, his fire, they're going to charge you money.
They have said that they could start charging. So far, it has not been done. But that is a very narrow line. That when it might wind up like this contract, when we find out they're going to charge, we're going to be standing here holding the bill in our hand, saying, oops, we misunderstood. And that is not going to fly. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Question like, okay, my name's Barry Birdwell, I'm at the home place. Circling back around a suggestion when people are saying multiple times saying they didn't know or they didn't hear. Okay. Suggestion on that is Facebook page. Another suggestion is a mailing list. I'll be happy to put my email address down there, my wife's, send out an announcement reminding me, because I'm forgetful as I get older, hey, this Thursday night there's a meeting. Put it on the Facebook, I will friend it. There's a nice little app called Nextdoor. I get to watch all my neighbors arguing about the dogs running in the neighborhood. But the cool thing about it is put it on, hey, meeting tonight. I'm like, darn, there's a meeting tonight and I need to go to it. Now, if I were you, I'd immediately go, Barry, it's a great idea, would you volunteer to do? And here's what I'll go, after I retire out of the Army Reserves next March, I'll be happy to step in and volunteer on the social side. At the moment, between civilian and military, I don't have time. After March, I can help. But until then, if we can get this started, it will get the information out to these individuals, and I think we will hopefully come to a resolution.
I answer that, sir. I'm 70 years old. I don't even know how to turn on a computer. This is my cell phone.
We get our 60-year-old to run the social media.
Anybody can run the social media that can do it, if they be truthful, honest, and dependable. But we had people on Facebook, when we was having all this turmoil, and there was a lot of rumors stuck in that Facebook. And people will believe a rumor in 5 seconds, but they won't believe the truth in 5 days. We can easier put it in the county newspaper, pay the $70 or whatever they want, and let the people read it. I'm not against Facebook, and by the way, if anybody wants to volunteer to come up tonight and start the Facebook and the social media network, you're welcome to do it. And it can be a lady. The next question. Anybody else got a question before this thing deteriorates downhill and somebody picks up this little gavel and says good night? Next. The man. Okay, back to
I
you.
have a quick comment. I just want to say thank you for telling us about the contract and you not knowing it unless the last 7 or 10 days. Because that really helps out. I'm sitting here thinking y'all knew about it for 6, 8, 10 months.
No, ma'am, we would have been jumping up, down, and hollering, screaming, had all kinds of fits.
So
And since we have,
thank you.
and since we have done this, we have been at the at the judge's office.
Okay.
We've been down at the judge's office, the judge, and I said I was not gonna speak names tonight, but that was Judge Dickie Jackson. We have been in his office twice this year. Well, 3 times. One time that we went with a problem, we got called back. He had the fire marshal in the office with us. This time we went down there and we had another conversation. We asked him to come here tonight to hear what was being said and offer some. We did not ask him to speak. He volunteered to speak. He did that on his own. This man cares for this fire department and for all you people. He's very concerned. He will, well, I can't say this because this is an opinion and I'm not passing my opinion because some people don't want opinions passed tonight. And I'm going to respect their judgment. So I'm going to close that subject. Yes, sir. The gentleman in the hat.
Okay, we've gone all over the room here with all kinds of extraneous information. Let's get to the point. Let's poll this group and see how many volunteers we can get out of this group. And we're the young people. My neighbors, they're young people there. They should be here. They're the people. I fought fires out here for 15 years, and we had volunteers. We didn't have to have all that bunker gear. I fought in combat boots. But what I'm asking is, poll this group and see.
Yes, sir. If you'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second that motion, somebody. We got the seconds. All right. We want a poll of who wants to volunteer tonight. It can be a man or a lady and a man. Volunteer for firefighters. That gentleman wants a poll of who might want to do it.
There's one.
I'll try to do it.
How about the young
There's
guy?
one. We need one more.
I'm gonna have to volunteer this old firefighter right here. Somebody can stand up. Judge Sodrock can get down here and start that truck. We can get a ladder to keep him up in there.
Okay? I'll be here with the ladder. Sir, if you'd like to come up and sign the paper, we'll have one volunteer tonight. Does anybody else want to come up and sign? Come up and sign your name. Thank you, sir. Maybe you bring it in.
All right.
I do want to let you know, my husband has inquired, and because he works nights, if he can do it online, he is also going to volunteer.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you come up and give his name to
I sure will.
the secretary?
Sir, if I might, I've lived in this, I live in Terra Robles, I know, back in the back. I've gone to a couple of meetings that were for the Woodland community, but I have never felt part of this community. I mean, our neighborhood seems to be discounted.
No, ma'am.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Well, let me make a suggestion.
I've come to these meetings, but no one from my neighborhood comes, and they've all laughed when I told them I came to it. They go, oh, they don't want us there. So I'm not surprised that most of my neighbors don't come to this, because we're not really made to feel welcome in this community. I've lived there a year and a half. I've never heard about anything that you've had going on here on Thursday nights. I saw your pancake breakfast, but I had to work that day. But you know, I think there's a lot of younger people that live in my community down there. I'm probably one of the older people there. But,
Ma'am, you're not old. You're barely 35.
You're blind.
I already told you, Paul.
But I'm just saying, if we could get some of the people in the whole community involved. There's a lot of families, a lot of younger people back in there. I know I see their kids. I get stopped by the school bus every morning. So I know there's a lot of younger people back there. If we could get them more involved to feel more of a part of this community, I think we'd have more volunteers.
May I make a
And
suggestion?
more signage. I mean, you did great this time. I actually saw it 3 times. And it actually caught my attention 3 times.
May I make a suggestion? That we talk after the meeting? Please, let me address you. I am the president, okay? And if need be, I don't know where Terra Robles is, just down the road. But I will have a conversation with the secretary. Just hang on. Okay, we will have a conversation with you. And if you want to call a meeting down there in your house, I will go down there. I'll try to get the secretary to go with me, so they know who the secretary is and the treasurer, because she runs this thing. She's a lady, or a woman. And I'm not going to tell you who I take orders from either. And she's been doing it for 25 years. We will go down there. We will meet Terra Robles on a one-to-one basis. We will talk to those people, and I will do my best to make them feel welcome and inform them that they can come to this fire department meeting and listen to what goes on. They are part of the group. They are in their district. They're as important as our house is. Okay? We exclude nobody. If you feel left out, come up here and shake your hands, introduce yourself. I'll forget your name, but I'll speak to you when I see you on the street. Thank you, ma'am. Take my advice and try it.
Worry about not getting it right. We're not perfect.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Okay. The contract, it's slipped up on everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The contract is slipped up on everybody. The reason we have a contract, the county has always donated money to all of the volunteer fire departments and EMSs. Okay, with the forming, when they formed ESDs, we cannot give an ESD money legally, and they're part of the fire departments. ESD 1 is the Livonia Fire Department. ESD 2 is Kicaster, Eagle Creek Fire Department and EMS. ESD 3 is Stockdale EMS now. We cannot legally give them money like we would give all of the EMSs, all the fire departments, a donation every year where that would help them operate. So to be able to do that, we had to have a contract with the ESDs to be able to do that, give them money. The $20,000 or approximately what it is, we had to have a contract to do that. Okay, so you can't contract with one entity and then not say, okay, we're just gonna give you money. Everybody that we donate the money to has to have a contract. And that's the reason, the contract didn't, that's the reason it's here now and wasn't here last year, is because of the legal parts in the ESD. We're trying to keep it all legal. We're not trying to keep the $20,000 away from Kicaster. We want to give it to Kicaster. We want to see Kicaster succeed. So yes, sir.
When this contract is executed or signed, what's the time frame for the volunteer fire department or an ESD to get their money from the county?
There's no time frame.
So they could wait, the county can wait till July of next year to give the fire department some money?
We don't do that because we don't want to. We're going to work with the fire department. I haven't. Okay, this was my first year. I haven't been involved in it before.
Yeah, he's a new judge. Tell him that's your new judge.
Yeah,
He's a new judge.
I've been here 11 months and 16 days. Yes, ma'am.
We've been his biggest headache.
So my question is, we got our 2 volunteers tonight, that will make our 4. So,
Yes, we still need more.
well, I
Or 5,
understand,
count your husband.
I still understand that we need more, but you told me earlier, this would fulfill our contract,
We're
right?
gonna, yes, this will suffice.
Even though they're not certified. I don't want you to come back on January 1 and say, oh, but you don't have 4 certified.
I'm not gonna come, like I said, like I said all night, I'm trying to work with you to get it going.
Okay, well, I just
talked with
want
him, and
to
wanna see-
verify, I don't
It's
want
gonna make
to,
it on the way.
I feel like we got kind of, if it's only, we only had like 3 or 4 weeks here to come up with these extra
Well,
ones.
there's no possible way. It's explained earlier tonight, I just, as right as I got here, that it takes
7
7
months.
months, and there's nothing gonna be offered until July.
Right.
If they do it. Okay, I'm sure there's gonna be something, and I'm sure you can hopefully get something rolling before then. But
I just wanted to
the
verify,
county's
I
gonna work with you.
understand.
If you're trying to comply,
Yeah,
we're not gonna hold it against you.
all right, good, thank you very much, I just wanted to make sure that's where
And
we're going.
with permission from the crowd, I will express my opinion one more time. Is the crowd in favor of my opinion?
Yeah.
I think this man is as honest as the day is long. That's my opinion. Thank you for allowing my opinion to come out one more time. Next question. I see the gentleman back there with a WT on his cap. We got you. No names, please.
2 questions.
Yes, sir.
2 questions. Assuming the worst case scenario happens, and we get attached to some ESD, would that ESD acquire all of our property and equipment?
The equipment, we have been told, if it's out of debt, it belongs to the fire department. We can do what we want to with it. We can sell it, we can donate it to a needy fire department, or we can take it home and park it and let it rust into the dirt.
If you have bylaws, you have to abide by those.
Yes, we have bylaws. And in the the bylaws, I'd like to clarify that, but I think the bylaws, I'm gonna go out on a limb. The bylaws say that they can be given to, or sold to another fire department. And there's a contingency plan on that. There is a
Man in the valley. What's his name? Oh, Don Pullen.
Don Pullen in the Valley, who teaches fire schools all over the state of Texas. A very good man, recommended by him. We were going to consult him and find needy fire stations who do not have the equipment or the money and donate these and the equipment to them. And what this is going to take place, is when we get our final answer as we are in business or not. And put this on social media, somebody. We are planning a meeting in December, early on. December. Well, December won't work. In January. In January. I slept last night and haven't woke up yet. But we were planning to have a meeting in January, early on, to explain to the public that we were in business or we was out of business. And then we were going to go in whatever direction we needed to, but we wanted to inform the public then as to what was happening. Hopefully, we can come back in January and say we have a fire department, we have money, and we're operating. But last year, our contract started in January. But for some flaw in communications, we didn't get our money till March. I hope that's resolved this year. Okay, by application, the applicant and membership of this corporation, all active members shall vote in agreement or discontinuing of the service or dissolution, or otherwise the payment of all what is this one now? I need to get somebody to read. My glasses are foggy.
By application of the acceptance of members in the corporation, all active members shall vote for an agreement for the discontinuance of the service, discontinuance or otherwise, after payment of all indebtedness. The remaining funds will be distributed back to the residents of Kicaster Volunteer Fire Department who have paid their dues during the year Kicaster Volunteer Fire Department was in operation. If membership also votes to donate a specific sum of money to a specific charitable organization in the state of Texas, this will also be accomplished. All equipment and all trucks belonging to Texas Forest will be returned with the equipment left on them, with the stipulation that they be donated to another worthy volunteer fire department. Under no circumstances is Livonia Volunteer Fire Department ESD number 1, or Eagle Creek Emergency Services ESD number 2, or Stockdale ESD number 3, also Stockdale Volunteer Fire Departments. The trucks and equipments belonging to Kicaster Volunteer Fire Department will be sold and added to the funds distributed to dues paying current members. These trucks, equipments belonging to Kicaster will not be turned over or donated either to all of the above ESDs. They may also be sold or donated to a worthy, small rural volunteer fire department chosen by the membership. The property and the firehouse are located, owned by Kicaster Volunteer Fire Department, is to be donated as a community center back to the persons who gave it to us, and therein any indebtedness is the property is to be sold and all debts are paid. We do not have any debts whatsoever. So that's the way it states in the bylaws, that's what will happen. So we will return your money.
To the ones who paid dues.
The ones who paid their dues this last year.
We'll be divided, we'll get the money back. That will, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it go at that. Does that answer your question, sir? Did you have another question?
If another ESD takes over, would this coverage start immediately, or would there be a lag?
That would be a question that the county, from what my understanding is, the county will designate where the lines are, and they would assume the responsibility for responding. But the question is, on the ESD is the voting and the taxes. Of course, everybody says that the taxes aren't that high and it's that little to pay. I'm tired of paying taxes. I don't get a raise because my taxes go up. That's my problem with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If an ESD comes in, from what I researched here the last 2 months, all the ESDs hit the maximum 10 cents per valuation. 4 cents goes to the county or whoever appraises and collects the money. 6 cents goes to the fire departments. Okay? When that happens, each piece of property that roughly is valued $100,000 is going to pay $100. in property tax, which is new, and that's added to your additional property taxes. You don't get a homestead exemption, you don't get an over 65 exemption, you get no exemptions. It's a new tax on your property. And with that said, that $100 is a lot more than what we're paying in dues now, which is minimal. Am I correct? On my research?
Yes, sir. The dues are like $25 a year. Thank you, sir. Good point. Oh, there was one other suggestion, I forget who made it today, but it was suggested that everybody paid their dues, that we could operate without any problems. The question, my answer to that is, we have never, ever had everybody pay all their dues regularly, every year, to the best of my regulations. But that's possible. Any other questions?
How much are the annual dues?
$25, a family. $20, I'm sorry.
$20 a year?
$20 a year.
That
All right.
that doesn't seem impossible. Again, I've been here since 2008. I didn't even know y'all had annual dues.
I'm sorry, I mail out in January to every resident of Clark stating and asking for the dues. Every January. Yes, ma'am, it's mailed.
I apologize. I'll look at that.
And you're welcome to come back the last Thursday of the month. Would you like to take over Facebook, or would you back there, man, Tara Robley, like to take over Facebook? Okay, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's the new generation.
I have 5 friends, so I don't do Facebook.
Next question. Yes, sir.
You were talking about dues, back when I was in Lavernia, and I was a treasurer, we started out sending out a mail out every year for all the ones in all of Lavernia's area.
I do that.
And we were lucky to get 20%. 20% was the most we ever got out of all the people.
Thank you.
So that's why they went to the ESDs, so everybody would have to pitch in instead of the few.
Next question? Yes, sir.
In the best case scenario, you would get 50% of the residents to pay their dues. $25, or what, $20? Okay. Plus the money that you're allowed to get from the county. Has it been researched where we could get some firefighters that could be paid part-time to be here without going to an ESD?
No, sir, that has not been researched and has never been suggested, but it's worth the thought. Appreciate the suggestion. Next question. It is about 8:30, and I'm standing up here and I'm getting tired of talking, which is hard to believe. But if everybody has no more questions, I will entertain a motion to close this meeting and ask y'all to all watch the paper. Got a motion, got a second? Everybody in favor, stand up, head for the door.